Hello, welcome to Vlogmas Day 14. It's Monday, start of a new week. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. Can't believe there's less than 2 weeks to Christmas. The time is just rattling by, as I've said before. This morning I was at work, so there was very little that I could show you there, and thankfully I'm home. It's just about noon, so it's nice and early still. I've just made lunch, which I'm about to enjoy. Breakfast seems like such a long time ago. I have a little post that I have to open, and I think you might enjoy the contents of that too. This afternoon I have a few things planned. There's a little project I want to put together, and I'll show you that when I get to that stage. But for now I am going to sit down and enjoy my lunch and maybe a little bit of a knit. My knitting's sitting there, and I'll get back to you in a wee while. I am so excited. My new Lina magazine has arrived. Just in time for me to peruse while I have my lunch. Quick flick through, and already I can see temptation. I'll show you in a wee bit more detail later. Oh my word, Lina is back with a bang. This is stunning. I am so tempted by absolutely, I think, every pattern that is in this book. I thought I would tag the ones I like just so that I can note them down in my little notebook that I've started to do. But I think I've tagged them all. I'll give you a little look at some of them, some of the temptation. This is a sweater by Midori Hirose, who designed the ranunculus, and the ranunculus has to be one of my favourite sweaters. There's that one. Am I going to have time to knit all of these? This one is called Skog. It's by Julie Hoover. It's an oversized sweater with a little bit of detail on the sleeves. There's a stunning shawl pattern. I don't know if you can see it properly there. By Natasha Hornby. Oh my goodness, it is amazing. Grounded by Denise Bayron, and there's a really good article about her in this as well, and a lovely article about Jeanette Sloan. This one is a little bit different. It's Estonian, based on Estonian knitting, Sally, and it's like an embroidery, and there's, I think, a pattern for a sweater and a cardigan, a staked cardigan, a tunic style, short sleeved. Oh my goodness, it's just so tempting. There's beautiful recipes in it. For soup, for a cocktail, some bread. It's amazing. An amazing book. There's an article about yoga. Yoga for your brain, which obviously knitting. And this one I think is my favourite. It's like a hoodie or a sweatshirt, and one of my favourite sweaters that I wear a lot is a hoodie riding to Avalon, and I wear it all the time because I like sweatshirts, and the style of them. And this with the pocket, this really caught my eye. That's definitely on the list. Another shawl pattern. I really like this colour work. It's a Vera Valimaki pattern. Now I think if I were to do it, I'd leave the baubles out. That's just a personal thing. A stunning magazine. They really have. I mean, I love, and I think I said a few days ago how much I love Lina magazine. This one, it really has come back. There were a couple when I was looking through them and making my notes. There were a few issues where there were less in them that I wanted to knit. I think the last one only had 2. But honestly, there's just about everything in this one. So I've had fun looking through that. I'm going to have to sit down and study it more carefully and get my patterns written in here. But that was really happy post today. I have a little project that I want to get underway this afternoon. It's one that has been brewing in my head for a little while, and I think I'd like to get organised for it now. I'm not actually going to start it until the new year, but there's a little bit of organisation needed. I've seen this project on other podcasts in years gone by. I'm not sure if anybody has done it recently, but it's something I'd like to do this year. I'm sure, like myself, you have a lot of random skeins of yarn if you're a knitter. Particularly in the early days when I started to really go to festivals or order the fancier yarns, I would buy a single skein of a yarn that was usually sock weight. And then I had more yarn that I really knew what to do with, that I wasn't going to get through for socks. I didn't knit shawls enough that I was matching them up. So I have a shelf of random skeins of yarn, and I have a couple of boxes of commercial yarn, sock yarn, that I've collected and just haven't got round to knitting. So I wanted a solution that would encourage me to get through those. And what I'm going to do is a little brown bag sock project, and this is actually going to be a knit along that is going to launch at the beginning of January on the podcast, and I will be doing a separate little podcast episode to discuss it more fully. But the gist of it is I'm going to work through my stash, pick out 12 random skeins of yarn or 12 sock yarns and put them into little brown bags, and then during the year, the beginning of each month, I pull a bag, not knowing what's in each one, and that's the yarn that I'll use that month. That's my plan. As I said, I'll discuss the Cal knit along idea more in the podcast, but now it's preparation just for me, where I'm going to start looking through the stash. This top shelf here are pretty much all single skeins. There might be 1 or 2 up there that are doubles that I could do something bigger with, and I'll not pick from those. I have them all bagged, and in each of these bags there's maybe 4 skeins of different colours. So as you can see, they're the skeins that haven't got used. They've sat there for quite a while. Some of them are quite deep stash. I'm going to work from those, and if you don't mind me swinging the camera, these are the boxes of the commercial sock yarn. Again, some of these are deep stash. I know I got that in 2014 when I was in America, as was the Patton's Croy. So there's some things that have been there. I'm going to pick out, as I said, 12 random balls, skeins, and I'm going to bag them in these, and then I'll fasten the top of the bag so that I can't see in. But I'll show you a little more of that as I work my way through my stash. So I've picked my 12 yarns. Some, I think it's Shonach. I really no idea how to pronounce this. Yarns. She's an Irish dyer. And I picked this up at Yarn Folk Festival in Whitehead. couple of years ago. I have some townhouse yarns, and this again is an Irish dyer. She's based in, this is knit in Dublin. And I've had this for a long time. Can't remember when I got this, and I've always loved it, but just never got around to knitting it. So that's in the group. This was I think this was gifted to me, a German wool, Robin Hood. Can't have socks or a project on the go without fine fish coming into it somewhere. No colourway on this one, but it's beautiful. It's got sparkles. This was a recent purchase actually. This was Arctic Crafts by Bentley. Grab your drink. That's in the group. This was actually sock wool I think I bought for Amy when she wanted to knit some Baronvilla. Berry Balm, it's called. I have some knit picks. I love the knit picks Felici. I have a few pairs of socks knit in this yarn, and I think it's a great yarn. This one's Sunset. So each of these is 50 grams, and so I'll put the 2 in. I probably won't need the 2. I have more knit picks Felici, Chickadee. Lovely greys and beige and duck egg, bluey green. I have some Regia, an Arne and Carlos colourway. Should knit up something like that. And these are brilliant. These type of yarns are, I would call them workhorse yarns. They're brilliant. They're really hard wearing. Opal. Greens and browns, very much my shades. Some Crazy Zauber Ball. I've never knit with this, but by all accounts it's a brilliant yarn. And one yarn that I know what month it will go into, this one I'll mark as December, is an Adelaide Cottage yarn that I got in 2018 because it was her Vlogmas 2018 colourway. So I want to knit these next December as my Christmas knits. So I have all these. I'm going to put them into the bags, and I'll not know which is in which bag, and I'm going to pop them into a little basket. And with that, I'm also going to put in ends, random solid colours that can work as socks, the heels and toes for the socks. And they might work for some of them. So I'll just keep those in there at the bottom, and then when I pull one of the other bags, I'll be able to match it with the solid colour. So that's what I'm going to do now. I had to look for another basket. The other one was just a little small. The packages took up just a little more room than I thought. Well, today has been a busy day, but an incredibly good one. It has been productive, and I've got things done that I had hoped to get done that have been on the agenda for a while. I am so pleased to have that little set of bags prepared with yarn for some socks for knitting in 2021. And I'm hoping tomorrow to record a little extra podcast episode just to talk about the knit along for the socks that I'm hoping to run in 2021, and another little knit along that is in the works as well. That's tomorrow's plan. Everything is done that I wanted to get done today. Dinner is over. I'm already in my PJs. See? Is there anyone else who does that? Gets into the pajamas just after dinner time? Particularly at the moment when there's nobody really going to call at the door. It's safe to get into pajamas early. My plan is to relax for the rest of the night, and I'm hoping to get some knitting done. I haven't knit a stitch today, bar half a row this morning when I was having breakfast before I went to work. I want to get working on my caramel cardigan. I will probably still be finishing off yesterday's colour and not introducing today's colour because I didn't get it finished yesterday. Can't imagine I'll get into the next colour, but I'm going to watch Midsummer Murders while I'm doing that. It's one of my favourite shows. I have watched it repeatedly. I think now in the series that Neil Dudgeon is Barnaby, and I enjoy him too, although I'm a John Nettles fan. So I'm looking forward to watching that tonight and knitting and just relaxing. And then tomorrow will be a new day and new things to do. Until then, I hope you have a lovely evening, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.